We are going to be looking at a problem here. This is from the textbook, section 3.2, problem number 10. In this particular problem, we are asked to use factoring to solve this equation. I have chosen one that is a little more difficult here to demonstrate the method that we're going to be using. So using my pen here, the first thing that we want to do is we want to take this equation and we want to put it into standard form. To put this into standard form, we need to have 0 on the right side. So what we're going to do is subtract the 6 from both sides. And so we're going to end up with the following equation, which is now in standard form. I'm going to try to factor this thing. To factor this, it's not immediately obvious. Notice that the lead coefficient, or the coefficient of the x squared term, sometimes labeled a, is equal to 10. If this was equal to 1, it would be an easier problem generally to factor, but since it's not, we need to use another method. We're going to use a method where we're going to take the product of the a and the c here, which is going to be then 10, and I'm going to multiply that times the negative 6, and this gives us negative 60. Now I'm going to take the negative 60 and I'm going to try to come up with different pairs of factors for this negative 60 that are going to give me the right sum. One particular pair of factors you might see would be, for instance, if I would take 10 times negative 6, that's equal to negative 60. However, if I take 10 plus negative 6, that gives me an answer of positive 4. What we are looking for is a particular pair of factors of negative 60 that not only multiply to negative 60, that's what we mean by factors of negative 60, but also add up to this middle coefficient of positive 11. Let's try something else here. Another pair of factors that might work is going to be, for instance, if I would take, say, 15 times negative 4. Well, 15 times negative 4 does give us a negative 60, but if we take 15 plus negative 4, this gives us the 11. 11 is what we want. 11 is what we have over here as this middle term. What we're going to now do is take this and we are going to rewrite this, and instead of having an 11x here, I'm going to take this 15 and the negative 4 that we discovered over here, and we're going to have then, this would be the same thing as 15x minus 4x, and this, we still have minus 6 is equal to 0. So what I've done is I've taken the 11x and I've rewritten this with a 15x minus 4x. This is a special pair of numbers. This is the only pair of numbers that's going to work for the next step. We are now going to factor this by grouping, and so if I group the first two terms, I see that in the first two terms there is a common factor of 5x. This would leave us with a 2x in the first part, and 5x goes into 15x 3 times. And in the second pair of numbers, I'm always going to keep whatever sign this is, so this is going to be a negative. And looking at the negative 4x minus 6x, I'm going to have a common factor of negative 2. So negative 2 times, and then again I have a 2x. Negative 2 times 2x is a negative 4x. Over here, this is going to be a positive, because remember, if I take a negative times a positive, I'll get the negative, and that's going to be a 3 again. Now notice that what's in the parentheses is the same. And so this is called factoring by grouping. And now what I have when I can finish my factoring, this is going to be then 5x minus 2. That's the 5x from here and the minus 2 from here, and both of those are going to be times the 2x plus 3. We're almost done now. We've done the hardest part. Taking each of these factors, we set them equal to 0. So I'm going to have 5x minus 2 equal to 0. I'm also going to have 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. And finishing this up here, if I can find my cursor again, solving this one, we're going to have 5x is equal to 2, adding 2 to both sides, and then dividing by 5, I'm going to get 2/5. And for this one here, if I take this, I'm going to have 2x is equal to negative 3. Dividing by 2 now, I'm going to get x is equal to negative 3/2. These are the solutions for this equation. You can check these if you would like, but that's all I'm going to do with this one at this time.